Right, I've got the time spring on the mainspring winder, and I'm going to try and put it into the sleeve so that I can inspect it. Not quite in. Sleeve is now on, and I think the tail will be right. So, take it out. See what that looks like. Yes, just about right. Okay. The arbor's come off, which is not good. Last the pace. By the time I've cleaned it, put it back in again. Sometimes it'll come off. You can see in there. The spring is on the arbor, and if it springs off, then I've got a problem. Sometimes it means that if it does that, you've got to replace it with a new spring. It may be necessary anyway when I inspect it. Right. Right, the sleeve is off. Now you can see the spring there. Now we will unwind it. Oh, it looks quite perky actually. Take a measurement. Yeah, quite good. Let's see. The internal diameter of the drum is 32. So that's 32. 31.9. 32. The diameter of the spring, as it is, which I think you can can see it from there, is $90, $95, $95. This. It's 92.5, right? Now 32 times 2.5 is 60, 70, 78, is it? 64 plus 17, 2.5 is 80. Good, and that's 92. So that spring is fine. So even at 3 times, it's still good. So it's a good spring. It can go back in. So I'll just clean it down and then replace it. So I'll clean it with white spirit and then lubricate it and then put it back into the barrel, which I will clean up inside and come back to you in a little while. I've cleaned the spring and I'm now trying to get it back into the collar so that I can put it back into the drum which I've cleaned. I've taken a measurement of it so that I found that it was 17.4 millimeters wide and 0.25 millimeters thick in case we have to get a new one. I've got it now and I'm hoping that it holds on the armour, because if it springs off then it usually has real problems. Do it. Put the other glove on just in case. A tiny bit more. Now I've got it in, but I've got to get the piece of it flat with the collar so that when I put it into the drum barrel it sits tight. Now it's back in. Collar there, whatever you call it. So it's in, but you can see that because it's not under tension, and I don't know if you can see that, but because it's not under tension, the arbor is not actually doing its right thing and holding the end, so I've got to be careful when I put it back into the barrel that it doesn't break free. So this has to now go back in here You have to do it by hand and get the hook onto. I don't think you can see it, but you can just see that the pin inside the barrel is just about where it should be. Well, if I can get that in, I've got to get that's it. Right, now twist that round. I can see that the eye is on the barrel hook, which is good, but I'm not sure about this. That's caught. It hadn't caught. It is caught now. You can see it, and I hope it's going to hold it, because if it doesn't and it flies off, then usually you lose the tail, and you've got to stretch everything to try and get it out, and it's no joke. I'm being a bit wet about this, but I know that if it goes wrong, it frequently means a new spring, which is an unnecessary expense and delay. Right, that seems to be good. So I've got to take this collar off the spring. This is the acid test now. That's off. Push that in. Unwind it. Back in the barrel. Good. I can take this off. Now this is the Ollie Baker style mainspring winder that I have described in the previous video. So there we are, it's back in, it's looking pretty good. The lubrication I've given it is modern, it's got Teflon in it, it's synthetic, it doesn't goo up, and it's supposed to last for a long time. And it's cleaner and better than some. That's what I use. It's not traditional because they didn't have it in those days. It's quite modern, God knows how long, but it's got Teflon, and that's the lubricant, which will be there for keeps. Okay, now I will do the next one, the other spring here, in the same way. I won't bore you with that. Then after that I've got to clean all the wheels, and I'm going to do that in water and wire wool and fairy liquid, and then polish them afterwards by hand. They've got rust on them, you can see here, it's the main arbor and it's got rust. Now if I stick that in a sonic cleaner, that's not going to get that off. It'll get the grease off these, but then so will a little wire wool. And in doing it the way that I'm going to do it by hand, it will take longer, hard work, but that will come out, and I'll show you again, that'll come out, instead of all being gooky like that, it'll be all shiny and great, and I'll be proud of it. So I will show you when I'm starting off doing that, then I'll show you when it's finished. And I've got to clean these as well, and they'll all be done by hand as well, the barrels, so that I hope they'll all be glistening and shiny as I've done the plates. So you can see that plate looks pretty good. And there's your American Eagle, God bless it. And this is one of the early clocks that they did before they had their industrial revolution and conquered the world.